machine knitters. Do you ever get working on a project, you're all excited, it's looking great, and then your machine stops working? That's where I'm at today. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do to fix the problem, hopefully, and I'll show you some English rib while I'm at it. So my machine appears to get stuck when I am going from left to right, and I believe it has to do with the ribber. If I look at my main bed, I can see the sponge. So let me show you. See how you can see this yellow? That's the sponge bar, or part of it. The metal that you see at the top is the sponge bar, but then this is the sponge. Now down here on my ribber, you really can only see the bar, and these needles, they flex some, but not a lot. So I am going to change the sponge bar on the ribber. Now before we do that, have you made your first beginner sweater yet? If not, you're going to want to sign up for our free sweater challenge that's coming up. This is a great way to find that extra motivation that you need to start and complete your very first sweater. It'll be 5 days of tips and tricks and techniques and extra motivation to get you from the beginning to the end of that first sweater. So make sure you sign up today. It starts March 20th and the link is in the description. Here's your sponge bar. You're pushing from the other end to get this side to come out enough so that you can pull it. So we're just cleaning out the old sponge. I'm just taking a screwdriver and scraping some of it out. It's actually coming out really cleanly. But you may need to get like some Goo Gone or something to get in here and clean this out better. This is working. Like I said, this is good enough. One I had changed was really, really bad, and I had to scrape a lot of stuff out of it. But this is fine. So I'm just using some weather sealing. This is self-stick. So this is for my standard machine, and it comes in a roll like this. I'm going to use this. This is sticky on one side, and then this side isn't sticky. It's just kind of smooth. So I'm going to put the sticky side down, and then I will put the ribbon back over top. So I'm just going to start here on the end by the ribbon. And squish it down in. So to put it in, you want the sponge down. And you also want your needles down. So you're going to want to take something and push your needles down as you push your sponge bar in. And so we're just pushing our needles down and pushing the bar in as we go. So they're up, so I'm just going to push them down and slide my bar in some more. Okay, so now you can see these are no longer bouncy, they're just pushed down where they're supposed to be. Okay, so English rib gets set up just like 1x1 ribbing. So you're knitting on every other needle on the main bed and ribber. So we are knitting our 3 rows for the selvage edge. Then we can set the carriages for English rib. Okay, so I'm going to change to my main tension. And this lever is going to go over here. Now, this is a Knit King ribber. And I need to have my right part button up. And you'll want this on. And my carriage is going to stay exactly the same. So I'm going to do my main tension and everything should be plain. So this is how the English rib looks. It is tucking on the ribber. So it's not knitting these stitches, but it knits on the main bed. And then when you go back the other direction, it knits these stitches, and I usually make sure I pull down on it. So now all stitches are knit. So now I have a hat. So this is 1x1 ribbing, and then this is what the English rib or the half fisherman's rib looks like. And actually the inside, or the wrong side, it still has like a little bit of that puffy look to it, because it is different than the 1x1 rib. So you can use either side you want. So I just love the way this looks. But the one thing about this, I was making a sweater, but I was using some scarfy yarn because I love to try new and different yarns. And this is really, like, this is soft yarn. It's really soft. But the problem with some of these yarns that change colors is that they change colors. So you have this nice stripe going, and then I got this. And I think that was even before I switched to a different skein. Yeah, it was. So that was a bit, because I switched up here. So that was a bit disappointing to see in my sweater. So I decided to make a hat. But I'm going to try it again. I know what you all are saying. I'm going to try to make my daughter a sweater, because the one thing I did find is, like, with an adult sweater, well, you can end up with this kind of thing going on, right? But then when you switch skeins, you have to be so careful that you're starting with the right color and stuff. And I don't even know how my daughter's sweater is going to go, because when you get these skeins of yarn, they don't all start with the same color, which is really frustrating. So I'm going to see how this sweater goes. But either way, I will have a pattern for you guys for a sweater and for a hat, but it's not ready yet. So check the description to see if that pattern is ready yet. If not, it will be ready in a couple of weeks, and you can always join our newsletter and be the first to know when that's ready. So I hope you learned something today, and make sure to give your knitting machine some love this week.